Rise and shine. Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope that everyone ripped your legs off completely this weekend, doing whatever it was you were doing, and now it's time to glue them back on. All you need today is your foam roller, no bands, even though today is all about hips, no bands, just the roller and yourself. And we're going to start our whole mobility portion. The whole beginning is all going to be on the ground. So once you get onto the ground, no, you don't have to get up until we start our first set. So have your foam roller next to you so you don't have to get up and get it once we start in on that part. But once you have it next to you, go ahead and lie down on your back. We're going to have the whole first part of this mobility warm up is on the ground. We're going to lie down. Let's just start with some lying knee hugs. The idea with the knee hug is we have both legs extended. Sometimes our pelvis goes into a way where our back is in an arch and it's sort of not a very comfortable position. Once you get one knee up, you can feel your whole spine and pelvis get into a different position. So go ahead and just alternate legs, giving yourself a nice hug here, keeping your foam roller nearby because we're going to change this from this kind of knee hug to a knee hug where we're supported with that foam roller under our hips. But for now, just getting in some movement. Really what we're trying to do is get our back against this floor nice and long. Think about pushing your rib cage down so you can lie with your rib cage flared up to the ceiling. We don't want that. That gives that arch in our back. We're trying to push our rib cage down to the ground. All right, we're going to continue with this same motion, but everyone go ahead and take your foam roller, tuck it in under your pelvis, just underneath your hips, sort of have it right maybe a couple inches below where I would have the waist of my pants. And then let's just hold here. We were doing alternating before. I want you to hug in one knee and then the other leg is just out. Now, as you take some deep breaths, we're letting that leg that's fully extended just fall towards the ground. I feel like sometimes my heel can hit the ground. Today, not even close. Got some tight hips going on. Go ahead and switch sides, switching sides. Same thing where you just have that leg extended, getting in some deep breaths, allowing yourself to relax, allowing that leg to just fall, working on hip mobility here, lots of hip work today. All right, and go ahead and switch one more time. Go back to that first leg, see if there's any difference. You can move around on that foam roller, move it up or down. Might make it so that you are curved around the roller in a more comfortable way. And switch to the other side. Last time here, just giving you a chance to switch around that position. Get in a couple more deep breaths. And then go ahead and stay lying on your back. Let's get into a glute bridge position. The foam roller is off to the side. So now we have our knees up, our feet are planted firmly on the ground, our back is on the ground nicely. Now let's take our knees and move them side to side in that windshield wiper motion. So we usually do these windshield wipers from a seated position. And you might feel like, wow, the seated position is better because I can get my knees all the way down. It's a little bit harder to do the windshield wipers from this position, but it should still feel good. You might not get your knees down as far to the ground, and that's okay. For some of you might be hitting your knees down. Great, whatever is working for you. Good morning, Cam. Do that. So whatever is working, just get those knees going back and forth. If lying down and doing this feels terrible, good morning, Maria, then go ahead and sit up and do it. That's totally fine. We're just getting in that hip movement, trying to glide that joint. Joint moves in lots of directions. We're just trying to get some of that movement. All right, and everyone go ahead and come sitting up. And then drop your knees into one side of this windshield wiper position because we're going to get into this 90-90. So when I say 90 and 90, that's basically our knees, right? If you need to modify this position anyway, looks good, whatever feels good to you, what we're going to do is a press. So I want you to take your hands like you are going to do a push-up around your knee. And then I want you coming down, you can come down onto your elbows, you can come down just onto your hands. When you get down to the bottom, I know you're breathing this whole time, but I want you to take a big inhale and exhale to see if you can get as low as possible, just sinking down, not pushing yourself down, just letting yourself sink as you exhale. And then we're just going to hang out here for a sec. 5 more secs to be included, 5 seconds. I mean, to be specific, here we go. That was 5. Everyone go ahead and come on up. Let's switch sides. Words, must be early morning. All right, here we go. So everyone's on the other side. Replace your hands like you're going to do a push-up around that knee. And then, hi, Maria, come on down and sink into that position. So as you sink down, just taking regular breaths. And then once you get down to what feels like, all right, this is a position I can hold, that's where I want you to take that good inhale. And then the big exhale, and that's where you'll just sink down as low as you can, not pushing yourself down. It should feel comfortable, especially on your glutes. You should feel like you're getting a good stretch, not like you are ripping yourself into 2 pieces. You're perfect as 1 piece. Let's keep it that way. And 5 more seconds. And good. Come on up. Let's get into a half kneel position. So we've been doing these half kneel positions where we both get a stretch and a glide. We're going to start with a glide. However, we're going to start with a glide in an offset position. So this is normal position. Everything's lined up. Now I've got a little bit of an offset here. When we're in that offset, if you need a pillow under your standing knee, that's great, take it. Otherwise, let's start with that glide. So now it's not a fully forward and back, but it goes off to the side a little. Should feel good through inner thighs, hips, ankle. My ankle snap, crackle, pop over here. All right. Good. Hopefully everyone is feeling like you're in a good tall position here, not slumped over yourself, but in a good position. All right, let's go to the other side. So switch your knees, get that knee out. All right, and then come on forward. This position is not as stable. If you feel like, wow, this feels like I'm a little bit shaky here, this position is very stable. This one's less so. I'm not worried about it. I haven't seen anyone fall down. I just realized getting into this position, it's not quite as easy as our just forward and back position. All right. So whatever you guys did this weekend, hopefully it was good fun. I had the lucky position to be out on Mount St. Helens supporting the Volcanic 50 with Cam, who's on our call, and it was all kinds of lovely. Hang on there. Let's switch knees again. Now in line, so everything is forward, eyes forward, knee forward, foot forward. Glute is tight. So the glute that is holding you up, I want you to get that one tight. You'll feel that your pelvis comes under a little bit to get that tight. Now you should feel a stretch through that standing leg, hip. And if you can come forward and back, let's start it. Whoo, I can feel that one hip is much tighter than the other. We were carrying backpacks full of random stuff to get to the runners we were supporting at our aid station. And my backpack was definitely not perfectly loaded. So I can tell left leg was doing a little bit more than the right side. All right. I was carrying up a ham radio antenna and it was on that side. I think that might have been it. All right, 5 more seconds and then we're gonna switch to the other side. We look like alien hikers, that is for sure. Switch it up, switch it up. All right, nice tall posture here, shoulders back, let's go for it. But we got to sleep out on Mount St. Helens, right at tree line, which was beautiful. There was a trillion billion stars, I counted. I did not see any shooting stars, which was a bummer, but I did get to see from afar some goats that came into sort of above where we were, which was amazing because they were pretty far and they looked pretty big. So they must have been some healthy, big old goats. So that was good. Otherwise, just chipmunks in our camp. All right, everyone should feel like you're getting a good stretch through here. And then keeping with our hips all the time. Grab your foam rollers, good people, and let's get our hips. So we're gonna get 90 seconds per side. So once you've got your foam roller, go ahead and lay down on it. Remember, let's try and include inner thigh right to the outside of our hip. Oh, baby. This is probably something I should have done last night when I got home. Didn't even think of it. All right. Well, that's okay. No regrets. Live in the present. All those things that are on cat posters, right? All right. Good deep breaths in. All right. Everyone should feel like you've gotten maybe a hard spot. Maybe you felt like, okay, that one is tough. If you moved right off it, that's good. You do not need to be pushing down on a tough spot. We're halfway through. If you get a spot that feels really spicy, see if you can go above or below it or around it. You do not need to poke yourself if you have a black and blue mark, right? You don't want to do that with the foam roller. You want this to feel like it's bringing blood flow, it's doing some productive work. You're not hurting yourself. So see if you can sing and chat while you're doing this so that your body knows, hey, we're cool. Everything's amazing. No one's going to die here on this foam roller. Not today. All right, we've got 10 more seconds on this side, and then we're going to switch over. All right, 3, 2, nice. Let's go to the other side. All right, so hips on. Breathing is relaxed. Even when you get to one of those spicy spots, trick your body. I'm good. Just get right off it onto another spot. Keep the breathing. Good. All right. Good. That's 30 seconds through. So see if you can get all the spots around. See if you can make it all the way around your hip in this 90 seconds. All right. It's so fun being at races when you see people doing something that is really hard for them. The 25K at the Volcanic 50 is a really tough race because it's a lot of people's first trail race ever. And that trail is super hard. There's big boulder fields if you haven't crossed it. Anyway, seeing runners having done that is so freaking cool. I love it. It's really fun. If you have not been out at a race yet this year, haven't volunteered, I think I'm talking to the choir here. I think you guys all have, but if you haven't, so worth it. It's fun. 10 more seconds of self torture or real relief, whatever it feels like for you. And then go ahead and let's stay on our front here. We can get rid of that foam roller. We're going to get into a scorpion position. So that's our cobra, scorpion. This is sort of a mashup of both. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's some animal that we're impersonating here and we're on our bellies. We're reared up. So I guess that's the cobra, but we're going to get our legs coming back. And I believe this one, when you're doing it, is the scorpion. So no one should have their chest smushed on the ground. Your chest is up and active. Your arms are pushing you over. You do not have to touch your foot to the ground. If you can't, obviously don't do it, but you're just going for that mobility through your back. It should feel like a nice stretch as your leg comes back behind you. I once was at the Dunaway track here in Portland. I came and I was like, I'm going to do a speed work session because I'm cool. This was years ago anyway. I show up and there's a bunch of people doing these on the track. And one guy has this giant tattoo of the Olympic rings all down his side. I was like, oh, I probably should know who that is. Anyway, I'm guessing I'll be a little slower than those people. That's all right. All right, 3, 2, and come on up into a hands and knees position. I want you to get into an active hands and knees position. So if you think about it, you could be in this hands and knees, tabletop, quadruped position, whatever you want to call it, and sort of just hanging out here. That in that position, your shoulders sort of drop down right? Your shoulder blades are sort of hanging out and everything sort of slumped. An active position, you're pushing the ground away. You're actively sort of tucking your pelvis a little bit. And so there's not a curve in your spine, but to make everything long, it would be up there. Your neck is staying nice and long. Your shoulders and your ears are actively pushing away from each other. Now we're in a good tabletop. All right, from here, let's do our cat-cow. So go ahead and drop out of that really good position we just spent all that time getting into. Yep. And then pushing up. So cat and cow, non-competitive cat-cows, please. Not trying to win the cats or the cows. Just trying to make everything feel good. This should feel good. Whatever you're doing, it should feel good. If it's staying in that tabletop, fine with me. Doesn't matter. Nice. All right. Couple more rounds of these, up and down. Good. And then go ahead and go from this position, just sitting back, sit back with your butt, push your butt back, push your arms forward. So now I want your fingers and hips far apart from each other. I want you to feel like you're getting a big stretch through your armpit, pushing your shoulder blades back as you push your fingers forward. So your arm is as long as it is ever going to be today. This is our super long arm position, pushing back. All right. Now go ahead and push your hips forward and come back into this low cobra position. We're back to this low cobra position, just on your elbows. Push your elbows towards your body. Feel like you're getting long torso here, long neck. And then go ahead, push up with your hands back into that hips back, long arm position. One more time. One more time in this position. Really think about getting your hips back. If you want to get your knees farther apart, might feel good. You can sit back into that position, opens up your hips a little bit. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. Don't do it. Whatever feels good here. If it's a less active position where you're kind of in a sitting back on your butt nap position, that's fine too. Just going to hold this for 10 more seconds, and then we will be back to a new posture in 3, 2. All right, everyone step 1 foot forward. We're going to get into a little bit of a runner lunge here. Go ahead and twist so your chest is towards your knee. Just 1 twist per side, and then we will start our, go ahead, everyone to the other side, twist it up. And then once you've got both sides twisted, we are going to stand it up. Mobility, warm up complete. Cheers to that. Let's get ready for our first set. All right, so our first set, we are going to, of course, do our balance work, and we'll focus this on some hips. So the first thing we're going to do is come into an open hip position, back to the knee drive, and back into a hinge. I want you getting into this open position and then hinge, not stopping here, but coming here. So full extension. If you don't need to put down your foot in between those rounds, don't do it. We're going to do 40 seconds on each side, and then we will do a single leg squat in this lotus position. We'll come down to the lowest range, come back up, but we'll hold. And so we'll do this one also for 40 seconds. So the challenge will be keeping our balance. So first time, let's go through that hip open. So everyone get nice position, body position. Come on up, open hip, and back to hinge. So this is not exactly hip hurdles like we're doing. This position here where we open our hip requires some really good control on the other side. Good balance. a little different of a move. And you guys are used to those hip hurdles. We do them all the time. Got to shake things up a little bit. All right, if you're feeling this around your foot and ankle, great. That's your body figuring out how are we keeping this person upright. All those muscles are working. Long leg in the back, everybody, right? Yeah, Dana, we've got long legs in the back. Yay. Okay, 10 more seconds. Yeah, I'm seeing all the legs, all the long legs. It's beautiful. 5, 4, 3. All right, switch sides. Everybody get back into good position. Let's go for it. Open that up and hinge. Good. None of this has to be in a rush. You don't need to get in a million reps. Just making sure you're keeping your balance. So slower is definitely going to help with that. These are looking good. So far, I haven't seen anyone catching a lot of flies, so that's good. Or swimming. All right, we're in the 5-second countdown here. So finish up whatever you're doing and plant that leg back. All right, so switch your planted leg so that foot gets a little bit of a mini break here. We are going to do this alternating lotus where we get into the alternating lotus position and we'll stay here for the full 40 seconds. Let's go for it. We're just going to come down into our lowest range and then back up. Good. And back down. See if we can do this for the full 40 seconds. If you can't, everyone loves you. No one cares. This is meaningless. But if you can do it, it's its own personal mini celebration. Awesome. Maybe this mini celebration for you is that you can do half of it without falling over, whatever it is. But we are at about 6 seconds to go. So I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Done. All right, let's see how we do on that leg for opportunity. I know we all start in our dominant leg. So here we go. It's a thing we do. When we have to just pick a leg, we're going to pick our dominant one. So we generally pick that one to start with. And we end up finishing our set on the more difficult side. Anyway, you can consciously change that so that you can always finish triumphantly on things, or just accept it and know it. All right. You know, if you're working your shoulders on this one, it's totally fine. All right, we're at the 5-second countdown. So final rep or so. And 3, 2, nicely done. Okay, very good balance, everyone. So we're gonna go back to the start here. So everyone's hips should feel like, wahoo, we're good. Okay, if only it was that easy, right? Here we go. Come on up, hips open, and into that hinge. Good. Keep this going. Good. When you open up your hip, you're trying not to move your whole body that way, right? You're moving just the hip. So you're trying to keep yourself really facing forward this whole time. Good. And 5 seconds. 3, 2, go right to the other side. All right. It helps to keep your neck nice and long and eyes up. Whatever you're looking at, just focus on that thing. Helps keep you up, that's for sure. These feel easy. Make sure that your toes are spread out. If you have correct toes, this kind of single leg balance exercise is a good thing to do with those on. If you're looking for ways to use them, that's a good one. Correct toes are those toe spreaders that you may have seen people use or runners have. 3, 2, Done. All right, don't have to do those again. Let's get back into our alternating lotus position. This time, 30 seconds. We survived our 40 seconds. So now we get 30 seconds. Here we go. Good. So come down as low as it feels good. And then back up all the way, glutes tight or glute tight, really. And then right back down. Good. All right. Everyone looks good out there. Ooh, Allison's getting the bonus points. Come down, cat pet. Come back up. Yeah. And 3, 2. Let's do the other side. All right. Come on down. So as you're doing this, it should feel like a challenge for your feet, an ankle, and a stretch through the glute. All right. Looking strong, everybody. Good times. Monday morning mobility, happiness. And 3, 2, stop there. All right, we have done it. Sweet, get a drink of water. Next set, we are still working on hip things. We are going to do these though on the ground. So we're going to do a glute lift and then a donkey kick hydrant combination. Watch what I'm doing so you can see before you get out of sight of your camera. So for this, we are going to do a hip focus, of course. So we're going to have a glute raise. So our butt will be up nice and tight. We'll have one leg come up and then we're going to come out and back. So level 1 would be you come up here, leg comes out, and then back and return to the bottom. Level 2 is you keep your hips up the whole time and you come out and in and put that foot back down and out and in. And level 3 is you just stay out here this whole time. All right. The second thing we're going to do is a combination where we do a donkey kick and then a fire hydrant. So I want to show you from the side, these fire hydrants, we're not doing this. You see how I'm dumping, like my whole back is dumping over. My back stays totally still. For me, this side, I cannot get up very high with my hip. Oops. Backpacking with heavy things. So everyone go ahead on your back. We're going to get into that glute lift position, one side at a time. We'll do 30 seconds. These are tough. So be good to yourself. Level all the different levels. You decide, go for it. Go for it on your back. You got one leg at a time. That leg comes out and in. It's kind of like a leg lift when we do those side lifts. It's the exact same motion. What we're trying to avoid here is our hips dropping as they're up. So imagine that there is a plate of, I don't know, something sitting on your pelvis. And as your leg comes out and in, you're not letting it dump off. That's the trick. No dumping your plate of breakfast onto the floor here. All right, 3, 2, go ahead and drop it down. Everyone take a quick glute break here. Now we're going to do the other side in 3, 2, going for it. Good. I just see legs wobbling around. That's perfect. So remember, you do not have to stay up the whole time. If you're keeping your hips up the whole time, you really have to use a lot of glute strength and stability to not let that hip drop. So it's totally fine to let that hip drop if you need to, or to come down in between sets to relax, making sure all of your reps are really good. All right. And just like that, 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, nicely done. All right, so now we flip into that tabletop position. Tabletop position here. And here we go on those combination donkey kick, hydrant, donkey kick, and hydrant. Your back does not move. No one's back is moving, right? Everyone's hips are totally still. We're getting these movements through our leg. but everything stays still. Good. 3, 2, other side. Go right into it. Keeping neck long. Eyes are looking over your hands, not back towards your knees. If you can see your knees, your neck is in the wrong position. So making sure you're looking up over your hands. That means neck is long. Good. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to do that one more time. One more time through. If you felt like, wow, by the end of that 30 seconds, I wasn't doing a very good job with those, my hips were wiggling all over, then take a break in between reps. All right, here we go. You are on. So glutes come up, leg comes out and back. Don't be afraid to drop down in between each and reset. That will make the perfect rep. Once you feel like, okay, I've got my perfect reps here, then you can keep that leg up and come out and in. If it's starting to feel good for you, that is. Yes, the legs are wobbling all over the place. 3, 2, go right to the other side, right into it. All right. If you're feeling this in your hamstring, see if you can move your leg closer into your butt. So your foot should come closer to your glutes. If you are feeling it still in your hamstring, that's okay. Hamstrings and glutes will be working here. We want to try and have this glute focus to really squeeze through your glute. Good. 5 more seconds. And done. All right. Last time through on these. Going for these combo donkey kick hydrants. Going in 3, 2, pick a side. Let's do it. Hydrant, kick, donkey kick. When you're in the donkey kick position, in that highest range, make sure you squeeze your glute. When you're in the highest part of the hydrant position, nothing needs to be squeezed. You just need to make sure you're not arching your back or tipping to the side to get that motion. Whatever your body gives you for that motion, that's it. That's enough. 3, 2, switch sides. You saw my range of motion there. I was about 45 degrees. Big difference on the other side. I need to spend about 6.5 hours today foam rolling, so I'll have to figure out how to do that while I am on my computer looking at athletes' workouts for the weekend. That would be fun. Who needs a standing desk when you need a foam rolling desk? All right, and 3, 2, stop there. All right. Last thing before we get full body foam rolling here. We are going to, of course, finish with a quick posture set. I call it a posture set instead of just saying core, or we really are working on, from here to here. So that feels like a lot of people just think this. We're just going all over here. So first things first, we're going to do a plank with a slow mountain climber. So plank here, going to push our knees forward nice and slowly. And then we're going to alternate that with a twist. So there's a couple different levels. Level 1 is feet are lightly on the ground, where we get our twist here. Level 2 is that our feet are up. Level 3, we can do a hip extension as we go. All right. So let's start with that plank, slow mountain climbers here. If you are avoiding tall planks because if it hurts your wrists, and you don't like to do that position, which I think is very uncomfortable on your knuckles, you can absolutely do this in a low position. Otherwise, go ahead and start from this high position. If you're doing it from a low position, instead of having your knees come under your body, they come outside to the outside. So if you're in the tall plank, what I want you to do is have your thumbs pointing at each other and your knee is trying to cross the finish line of your thumbs. So neck is nice and long. Hi, Maria. Everyone's on their planks. It's like, how come you're sitting there? Everyone's doing planks. Let's go. Good. So you're trying to get your knee crossing the finish line that you're making with your thumbs. That is an aspirational goal potentially, and it's fine if you're not hitting it, but that's what we're working for here. 3, 2, go ahead and sit down. We're going to do those twists. All right. So we're in our twist position, which means we're not in this, but we're here. All right. So everyone go ahead, get whatever position you want, and let's go for it. So position 1 is feet are barely touching. Position 2, feet are up. Position 3, we also get a leg extension as a bonus that makes us work our hip flexors. They are in the game, saying hi. They're like, haven't we done enough for you? Give us a break, 5 more seconds. Back stays long. And nicely done. All right. Last thing, here's our last minute of this hard part before we foam roll. Back to our planks. So back to the planks. So always have to have posture set as part of Rise and Shine. You can do this sort of stuff every day. It's good for you. Let's go. It's more fun to do it with friends. So glad you're all here. All right. Drive that knee. Gonna force you up onto your toes in the back and really pushing forward. It might also be kind of tough on your shoulder as you get over the hands. That's all right. That's why it's posture work. Strong shoulders, strong lats, strong abs, strong everything, strong you, strong good people. 3, 2, nicely done. Okay, last thing before the foam rolling extravaganza, we will do the twists. All right. Nice long back. Starting here, whichever way you're going, let's do it. Level 1, level 2, level 3. You can do some kind of fast and slow. You can do some kind of jig. If you are playing music in the background, you can go to the time of your music, whatever makes you happy. But as long as you're not ending up in that C position, no shrimp out there, lots of good posture. If this is a posture set, we want to make sure we're in good posture while we're doing it, of course. And 3, 2, yes, done. Okay, but no one gets to leave yet. We still have time on the clock, which we saved, so we can foam roll. So let's all grab our foam rollers. We are going to start with our foam roller on our glute. So start with whatever side makes you happy. We're going from glute, and then we're going to go to low back, and then we'll do the other side, and then we'll get back. So everyone get onto your glute. We cannot think about having good hips without also having the muscles on the other side, right? Our glutes. So I'm going to get those in the game, nice and loosened up. So get into the meaty part. You can get a figure 4 if that feels good. You can also turn more to the side, and get the glute meads, side butt there. This is where we require good breathing. It is easy for our body to tense up, and then we're just tense on the foam roller, and we are doing the opposite of what we think we're doing, right? We're trying to make things loosen up, but if we are tense and nervous and scared that it's going to hurt, we are just contracting our shoulders, holding our breath. We are not doing what we think we're doing. So let's all feel super relaxed here. Even if you're sort of feeling like you're faking it, it's okay. I'm trying to relax. If it's really just too much, don't stay on that spot. All right, let's transition this to our a little bit higher, so it should be on that same side, but in the area around your pants, where your pants hit. So that's low riders to mom jeans, the whole thing. So that's probably, pants these days, I don't know, that's probably 6 inches of difference where the kids are wearing them, where the, people are high, have them too high, whatever that is. So we're in that area though. We're in the pants zone. All generations pants zone. How about that? So this one, you've got some of your bones kind of close to the skin there, right? So if you want to get in that side to side shearing motion, that might feel really good too. All right. And let's go ahead and go turn the other cheek, everybody. So other side glute. Getting in some rolls around your glute, including side butts, everybody. No butts about it. Bad butt jokes right now. Oh my goodness. So the place we were for our aid station was called Butte Camp, like a mountain or a butte, but I could not say that. I could only call it boot camp. I don't even teach boot camp or think that boot camp is necessarily a good idea, but I just could not. I don't know, boot. Here we are. All right, keep this going. If you want to just stop where you are with the roller and let yourself sort of sink into that spot, that's a great idea. That would be how you use your breath to just exhale and let yourself come down through that spot and pin and stretch. All right, and let's transition to the pants zone, to the top of the pants zone here, low back, top of your glutes. Might feel tight. Might feel like, ooh, this is a tough spot to get. If it really doesn't feel great, you can go back to the meatier part of your glute. But whatever you're doing, you don't want to be right on your spine here. That's sort of a tough spot. The spine is right there. Not a lot of muscle around that. We're just smashing the bone. We don't need to do that. That's why we do our low back here, one side at a time. Enables us to get into the top of the glute again, sort of our sides as well. All right, and then breathe deep, relax for a second. Now we can get our foam roller onto our back. So go ahead and get it right under your rib cage, support your neck, and then go ahead and let's just all roll up nice and slowly from the bottom of our rib cage, rolling all the way up to the tops of our shoulders, or as close as that feels good. And then go ahead and roll it back down. We're going to do all the methods here to finish up with our back. Once you're back at the bottom of your rib cage, then let's get that side to side shearing motion going. So we get a little bit of side to side. Once you feel like you got that spot, roll up for about 1 inch. Get a little more side to side. Another inch, another side to side wiggle. Keep that dance going till you get to your shoulder blades. Once you're on your shoulder blades, you can sort of wiggle around those. Each one, give each one a little bit of attention. Making sure, feels good. Deep breaths. And then the last thing is rolling yourself sort of over your foam roller. Now that we've had some tissue movement here, might be able to get some mobility. So using your foam roller as a way to curve around that thing, just letting yourself drop, and you can move the next vertebra down and then roll over that. You're just trying to get mobility through the spine here. You sort of worked it for a couple minutes there. And then once you have it, should feel good. Again, this is not a test. We're not trying to win best foam rolling of our spine here. Not necessary. Just trying to keep mobile, keep things from getting sticky. When we're running, we need to have a mobile spine. All right, but you are done. I mean, you can keep foam rolling. You could do that all day if you want. That would be amazing and also weird, probably a little too long, but have a really good day. And if you want to say hi to me, please do.